Hey, you're listening to Out of the Friend Zone with Heidi Selexa. Yeah.
Well, her name is Heidi Selexa. The world revolves around her smile.
I bought a super pretty pink bikini this weekend to match my super pretty pink lipstick.
Oh, but being in a new relationship is so fun. Like talking to him on the phone and you talk for hours, and then finally, like, somebody has to get off the phone, so you're like, bye. No, you hang up. You hang up first. Hello? So then you have to call him back a 5th time, and then the 6th time, and so then the 7th time, you just can't stop hitting redial. And then you break up.
Let's see if I can pick up a gay guy. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. You're cute. You're welcome. Do you want to be my friend? You're obviously committed and somebody's a little jealous of somebody. Did you see that? Like, I can't believe you didn't just say, yeah, why don't you just come in? Because they have another token gay girl. Hi, God, it's me again. I tried to call you earlier, but you didn't answer your phone. I went right to the voicemail.
She's got the giggle. She's got the wiggle.
Why is it that we always try to pick up somebody who maybe isn't interested in us? Like Heidi and her gay guys. I love them. If I could just be a gay guy, well, perhaps I am. Ooh, I know. I'm a drag queen in a woman's body. Hi, boys. So, your love life. It's not always about what you're doing on the outside. It's a lot about what you're doing on the inside, which really shows what you're doing on the outside. We have got the most amazing guest. She is fantastic. She is brilliant. She is pretty. And she's got a book out called Real Love right now, okay, with a blueprint that gets so specific. She's called The Love Architect, with a show on the OWN network with Oprah Winfrey and a show coming out on E! Later on this month. It's called Stewart and Hamilton's. Rod Stewart and George Hamilton. Who's Tanner and which one doesn't wear sunscreen? We're going to bring on, her name is Kailen Rosenberg, and she is here today to help you figure out, what the heck am I doing wrong? Is it because, I'm just too picky? Is it because, I've had bad experiences in the past and they're staying with me? Baggage. Is it because my house is too dirty and I have fleas in my bed and girls don't want to sleep over? Well, I was actually talking from a man's point of view. Whatever it is, she can help you out. Are you there, Kailen?
I am. Hi.
Hi. I was just about to send you selfies of me because you haven't seen what I look like, and and then you're here, so I didn't send them. Whoops. But how are you?
My Lord, you are hysterical. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. We had a long talk last night, and I felt so good after you said you were actually going to come over to my house when you come to LA in a few weeks.
Oh, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun.
She's going to go through and do my corners. Now, I just redid my place and I painted, but it wasn't really me that painted. It was just this gay guy friend, and he did an awful job, and there was paint everywhere. But I kind of got the house back in order in the way that I wanted it, in a different way, because I felt the way it wasn't working. So, we were talking last night on how the inside of somebody's house can reflect their love life. If you have a messy house, is your love life messy? So tell us all about what you do and how you came to this. This is so exciting.
Okay. Well, as a love architect, really my job is to go into each person's love house. That's our being. That's the kind of the capsule that carries the soul, not to get too deep, but it's real. And our love house, the home that we live in, the place we reside, our nest, the place where we're really supposed to be the most safe and the most comfortable in ourselves. And I kind of go into my clients' lives and I sort of ruffle everything up, and I look at the truth and the reality of their foundation, the foundation that they have sort of set their life, their stage of life on, and most importantly, when it comes to love. And most of us don't really understand love nor know how to get it right. And we're in lots of unnecessary, unhappy, and broken relationships, and we kind of continue the same patterns over and over. And so one of the things that I do is once I find the structure and the foundation that every person has, and where the weakness is, where the cracks are, where the pain is, then we go in together as a team and we fix it. When I say we, I mean my client and I.
You mean they have to go through it with you? They can't just expect you to do all the work.
Oh, well, yeah. And it's, it's surprising because some people do expect me to be able to come in and do it without them, but there's no such thing. But the cool thing, and, that I found over the years.
That's called laziness?
Is
my mic okay? Is my mic okay? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I bent the cord. Sorry. Go ahead. It's called laziness.
But it's called stuck, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
called stuck. It's called fear. It's called all sorts of things that block us from love. And so now when you get to the home, which is one of the things I know we want to talk about today, the home, it's nuts what our home says about us without us having any clue. And I found this out years ago with a client when I saw a complete disconnect in my client and what I sort of envisioned their home being like before I was there and what I stepped into. And I started to find
You're like, whoa, I had no idea what was going on.
Well, it's really true, and we become so used to our surroundings that we don't even see our stuff. We don't see our crap anymore on many different levels. And so I saw a pattern with every client I was working with, no matter if they were a major celebrity or a CEO, no matter if they had $1 billion truly in the bank or they were just out of college, there was a similar pattern with everyone. So it's a fascinating, fascinating deal. But I fix love lives. That's what I do.
Yeah,
married or single.
She's the love architect, so she will actually go in and redo your entire architecture as far as like the way you're wired, what your thoughts are, like, the impressions that people told you when you were a kid, what the bully did to you, what, the things your parents carried over into you, what happened in the womb. She's amazing. But I have a question for you. Where do we start, and what are some of the patterns that you have seen in people's houses? Like, when you mean like you've seen a pattern, it's just a repeated pattern. Is it that in the bathroom everything might be organized, but in a corner there's like a certain clutter, there's a clutter bin or something, and then in the bedroom it has the same type of design, or in the closet it's the same thing where it's like half organized and half not? Or can it, like my ex-fiance that we talked about last night, he was the biggest slob in the entire world. The only way that I could go to his house is I cleaned it because I thought if I'm going to be here, I have to have it clean, but I still could never, ever, ever, ever get it clean. I don't have enough energy. It was a pigsty. And I don't even know what I saw him. Like I said, I was trying to change him, and I was just like, I asked for a sign from God to give me a purple rose of the right guy, and then on Valentine's Day he gave me purple flowers, and it wasn't a rose. And I was like, close enough.
Isn't that the truth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, so really the pattern is that the pattern is basically that whatever I saw that was a disconnect from the person that I believed I knew as a client, as a being, it was telling me that there was something that my client was hiding from. And again, they weren't aware of it. And so, one of the things, that you and I talked about last night was, cleanliness,
yes,
right? And organization. Well, if somebody's home is too clean, too pristine, too hyper-organized, that is not good. It's about the same as walking to an absolutely sloppy, dirty house.
You can't even move. You don't even want to touch anything when you go in there. Can you imagine, like, you're trying to kiss him and you're like, okay, I'm not moving, or,
You can't relax.
You can't relax.
Right. You have to figure out, what is that about? Where does that come from? What are they, again, so much is based on fear. So what are they afraid of? Where are they blocking? What are they holding on to that's, like you said earlier, not theirs to hold on to anymore, whether it's from parents or past, a bully, like you said, whatever. But so one of the things that people don't notice is that they have crap everywhere. Even if it's placed in a lovely way, it's just a lot of stuff. And it's a lot of stuff that if you really pay attention, even if it's photos, if you go into someone's home and they have a lot of photos, pay attention to what the photos are of. Are they all, I'm being really serious, are they all of the person's dog or cat? Are they all of, even though sweet, is it all of children, nieces and nephews? Is it all of the person themselves who lives there? Is it all of mom and dad? So you really, and this happens all the time. And what you want to look for is a balance, right?
Okay.
And what I don't want to do is teach people to go do everything perfectly. Without it being real for them, because then it's inauthentic, right?
It's what somebody else's vision of it. Can you just turn your volume down just a tad? We're getting a little bit of echo.
Oh,
yeah, well, the engineer Jarvis told me that.
Okay.
There you go. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. So we have a situation where you go in and somebody has, photos of their cats, for example, and they're a cat person, or their ex-husband, or their ex-wife, or their ex-girlfriend, and they're trying to date.
Yeah.
So
they're
you're
putting photos.
right. So
Yeah.
let's go through really quick and talk about the things like when somebody's trying to date again.
Yes.
What they're doing is but I hate to say let's fix the outside. What they're doing, what they need to do is really go on the inside and say, why am I hanging on to this? Why am I a hoarder? Why am I hanging on to old photos of people that aren't there? Is it comforting to me? Because then we could tell them what to do in their house all we want all day long, but until people change the inside and really get to the meat of it, then it's kind of difficult to have them keep it that way, because they'll put the photo away, but they'll take it back out in a week.
Well, honey, you're completely right, and you hit it on the head. And so that's why, when I'm doing a piece for Huffington Post or whatever it is, and they say, Kailen, give me your top 5, your top 10, I have to be really careful because it's easy to give the specifics, give the correct rules, but really that can keep people stuck too. So like you said, it's really about fixing the inside and using your home and what you notice around your home or about the person you're dating or whatever it is, and realizing the truth of that person and what needs to change so that they can have the most amazing love that's honestly waiting for all of us. It really, really is.
Yeah, everyone deserves it. Do we still have an echo? I still hear a little echo. Where's that echo coming from? It's echoing. It's not. We still sound pretty when we're echoing, though, so don't worry about it too much. Smile, Kayla. You have the most beautiful smile. I love when you smile. Just smile and don't worry about the echo. Just don't worry about the technical stuff.
Okay, honey, is it any better?
It is, yeah. Stick your tongue out again there. There you go. Hey, so listen. So, for example, for my ex-fiance was the biggest slob. I mean, and there were even times he had fleas in his place, and I loved the dog. It was one of those big, gorgeous poodle dogs, which, he was not the dog, but the ex-fiance was a drinker, and he was a smoker, and it was just awful. But he didn't really pay attention a lot to the beautiful dog. So I pretty much took the dog under my wing. But it was just so disgusting. What does that say about someone? Let's go through the different types of maybe what.
Well, it said something about you, honey, for dating him.
I know.
Right?
I'm totally aware of it, and I have no problem admitting my stuff. I wanted to clean him and fix him up, and that's why I'm doing the show, because I'm not going to be cleaning anyone's places anymore, but I do see it. I like to help people and fix. I'm like, if they could just take a shower and brush their teeth and whiten it and do this with their hair and their clothes and take a shower. Why are they sad? Why are they a bum in the park? Let's just fix them up.
That's so good, though.
Oh,
you're so brilliant, obviously. Here's the deal. He was that way because he didn't have, and this is going to be a duh, but a true sense of self-pride as a human being. There was something in him where he lost faith in himself and his ability to be better or more or to rise to what he's called to be and become. And again, you would know better than obviously I would because you dated him. But typically, honest to God, it goes back to parent stuff. It goes back to mom and dad. And so there was something in him inside that believed he wasn't any better than that. And typically men like that will go after pretty strong, confident, powerful women. And they'll find their identity through these women.
Oh, yeah.
And you seem to be the perfect blend because you not only were intelligent and beautiful and lovely and everything was amazing and you were strong and successful, but at the same time, you also were willing to come in and clean. So he sort of hit the jackpot.
He had a really hot cleaning lady, basically, is what it came down to, and I didn't even know it, okay? I just didn't want to sit in dirt.
But then what happens is that then he ends up resenting you.
Oh, he totally did. Because I had the #1 show on XM Radio for 5 years, on XM 80s on 8. And, you used to listen to me in Minneapolis on KDWB.
Yes.
Yeah, as Heidi Stern. So basically, he was jealous. Basically, it's like he wanted to get the token hot girl, and all the guys were trying to date me, and I'm like, I don't date people I work with, and I wouldn't date you anyway. But I guess when it came down to meeting him and hanging out with him, it was like, I'm bored. My other parts of my life are boring, and all I have is my show on XM, and I would just go to they would fly me away, and I'd sign autographs, and then I would come home, and I would work 12, 13 hours a day doing 12, 13 hours of a radio show in a row, and I was tired, but I didn't have a personal life. And so I wasn't balancing things out. And my mom's like, he was a distraction for you. He was fun. And, you got to be careful not to get swept away in the funness. And after 6 weeks, he proposed to me. And, and we were drinking at a club after I went on stage and introduced a band. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, it's time. And I thought, he's so fun. This is great. And I can make him, if he had proposed to me, I can make him who I want him to be. That's so stupid, Heidi. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Well, no, it's not stupid. It's not. It's just, it's called desire and hope and not having quite learned yet enough about yourself. And again, why you not only chose him truly, because it was deeper than what you just said. There was more going on than what you just said, and what your mother even thought, but why you allowed him to stay and why you stayed in that relationship. But it clearly was filling some void beyond what you've just said.
You know what?
And
he was so...
he would you in a weird way.
Yeah. He would knock on my door, and I'm like, he'd come in my studio. He was just, I gotta have you. And I was like, no, I don't really like you. You're not my type. You're 6 years younger too. I mean, go away, really. You were just fun to hang out with. That's it. And he just wouldn't go away. I couldn't get rid of him, so I said yes. And so, but a year later, he cheated on me after I convinced him to buy a condo and get his finances. And I know you have something to say about this. I convinced him to get his college loan paid off with the money that he made at XM and his stock money, because there was a lot of it when XM first started. This was before the merge was serious, so we had a lot of stock money. And so he checked in half the stock, and then he paid off the loan, and then he bought a condo for us, right? Well, yeah, well, he resented me, and he ended up dating the neighbor right downstairs. So he was in 304, she was in 204, and then apparently he was cheating on me. And I remember kind of catching him, and I was like, what is this? Like, why is this Kama Sutra oil out on the counter? Like, we've never even used it. Like, he got it as a gift or something. And I'm like, and he's like, well, because I'm moving into the condo that I bought for us. And he was like, he started just yelling at me. And I'm like, you know what? You cheated on me.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he freaked out, and he got so angry and said, if you don't believe me, you can leave now. The thing is, when somebody escalates like that, you know that they're guilty. Because if he wasn't guilty, he would have had a completely different behavior.
Yeah, no, completely true. Right. And I don't know if you want me to sit and analyze you.
Well, you can do. Well, it depends. I don't want to get too embarrassing with me on the air, and it's not about me. But you can a little bit. But we still want to go through the corners of the house and what things mean, and what do you do in the bathroom? Why you don't leave your shaving, your hair and the shaving cream on the counter after you shave? I mean, wipe the sink if you have a woman coming over, even if you don't. Yeah.
Well, most men do. Most men are pretty good that way. So when it's that extreme, it's screaming out the truth of where he or she is really at. And, the only thing I do want to say, and I will be absolutely respectful of you, but because I know that your listeners absolutely...
I trust you. You can say what you want. And you know what? I'm not perfect. It's totally fine if I'm not perfect. So feel free to say what you want. Go ahead.
Well, again, I know your listeners love and adore you. So, here's the thing. There was also something very interesting about the fact that I know that you are into cleanliness, and you're into order and organization and things like that. And again, fun, feisty, high powered. And then you're talking about how he was kind of easy and he was simple and this and that. Sometimes, and it's one of the things I talk about in my book, it's a soft, nice sounding term or word called love teachers, but our soul will indirectly choose the love teachers that we need to learn different lessons. And so depending on, I don't know anything about your childhood or your upbringing, but depending on how strong you always had to be, or confident or in control, whatever you were taught, sometimes you need a freaking break.
Yeah, I was totally controlled. Like, I totally was strict upbringing, had to be the best student, the best in gymnastics, the best at sports. And finally, I just freaked out. I'm like, I just need to be a kid. I need to be me. Chores every day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because you just said a kid, and he was still a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
So I was dating a kid.
Yeah, you could melt into it. You could lose yourself a little into it. You're still frustrated by it, but he was sort of the freedom that you were unable to be, although way on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So,
and when I forced him to grow up,
it
didn't work. And he ended up marrying her. And I think they're split up now because he's cheated on her several times.
Yeah.
And but he said, I want to come back as a man, not a boy. So he even knew that he was immature. And I was thinking, well, I'm never going to take you back. Like, there's no way that I would ever take him back, ever.
Yeah. No, because now you've learned.
I don't even like him as a person, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I don't blame you, right, for what he told. But
Yeah.
I think so. One of the things that I want the listeners to know is that don't be so darn hard on yourself. If you've allowed yourself to be in an unhealthy or even toxic relationship, if that's been your history and your pattern in your past, it doesn't mean that it has to continue. Don't beat yourself up once again for it. Understand why you allowed yourself to be there to the point that you were or are, and now
Right.
change it. You can absolutely change it. And again, crazy, beautiful, sexy, amazing love is waiting for every single one of us. I've seen it. There's
Woohoo.
somebody for everybody.
That's
but
right, sister. Sing that song.
Yeah, it's true.
So hey, so when you say that what somebody does in their home,
Yep.
how does somebody what does somebody who's super too neat and organized say and clean say about them as opposed to somebody who's super messy?
Well, they're really the same thing in different ways. Again,
Oh, they
polar
are.
opposites. But they're
Really?
saying truly afraid of intimacy and trust, scared to death. Each want to be taken care of. Actually, each want to be saved. And many times, or most times, people won't admit it.
Right.
They'll say, no, I'm totally independent. Look at me. I'm free flowing and free spirited. I do my own thing. But really, it's a true fear of trust, intimacy, connecting with somebody, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. So it's showing up either by hyper control, by keeping everything hyper organized, hyper clean, or just going, screw it. I don't care if it offends you. That's your problem. And I'm going to let my place be an absolute pit.
Wow.
It's all about getting centered. It's about self-honor. It's about sitting back in your space, no matter how small or large, an apartment or a mansion or whatever, just sitting there and going, is this place me? That's the first thing. Is this place me?
Right.
Does it feel good? Have I slowed down enough to notice, do I feel happy and peaceful and comfortable and safe here? And then you could say, yeah, I really do. Okay, well, that's great. Fabulous if you do. But then comfortable, safe, happy, and good in what? Now what do you notice? Now going into, you're feeling happy and safe because it's hyper-controlled or it's completely just let go and loose. Your soul, the more you sit with yourself and who you really are, and you connect with that inner voice everyone tells you to listen to that most of us don't.
Yeah.
You just sit in silence and you listen to it. It starts to tell you so many different things. Like stories will start spinning, and it's mind blowing.
It's mind blowing. You almost want to slow it down sometimes. You're like, wait, one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to train my clients to do this because I even had a client of mine who was he was a gold medalist for the Olympics for us. And we went through this process, and this big, strong, muscular dude broke down bawling. Total guy's guy, all testosterone.
He was just a big teddy bear inside. He was totally.
Well, it was the whole thing of the hyper control, the hyper discipline since he was a little boy to be the top. And I can't say, or you'll know who he is, but and so he realized that there was a piece of himself he'd been missing his entire life, and so he was acting out of pain, and it was showing up in his home, and so. When you sit and you listen to your voice and you let it just tell you, it will tell you if you're with the right person or not completely.
Totally.
It just will. It doesn't lie to you.
You don't even need to verbally ask it. If you just even send out that thought, it'll come right to you.
It will. And most people go, oh, crap, no. Even though it says I'm not supposed to be with this person, I'm scared to death to be alone, and there's nothing better coming, so I'm just going to hold on for dear life.
Right. Or I can change it.
No such thing.
You think you're more powerful than your blueprint. Yeah.
But even so with our home, you might sit there and go, oh my Lord, I can't believe this. I hate the color of my walls. I hate it. Or I can't, oh my Lord, I hate that chair. I can't what the heck am I doing with that out? And it's actually pretty fun and pretty funny. And you just start becoming your own love designer, not to sound whatever, but just you literally start just honoring yourself all over the place. And so whether it's in your kitchen, one of the things that I talk about is that the refrigerator and your cupboards say so much about you. What do you have in your fridge?
What does it say? What does it say? Well, go ahead, keep going. But
because I deal with really high profile people, and I deal with people that travel all the time, and their excuse is, oh, well, Kailen, you know what? I just want to warn you right now. My fridge is empty. I'm never here. I always eat out. And I'm like, well, I get it. I get that you're busy and you're
Right.
rarely here, but this is your home. It's your nest. It's your space. Wherever you go, you need to be nurturing yourself and loving on yourself and spoiling yourself. You just do.
Okay.
And so you need to have something in that darn fridge. And it has to be something that's healthy, balanced with something that you crave and you love, and it's just your guilty pleasure.
Yeah, like
There just has to
your late
be-
night snack. Right.
Yeah. And another thing too is if people are just, it's, all filled with sugar and carbs and junk or alcohol, and that's all they have. Or their mindset is, well, there's nothing in there for me. I never touch it unless I have company. So all these things that people live with and do in their patterns, again, says everything about, here's how I feel about myself. This is how much I trust, love, or not. And this is how ready I am for you to love me and me to love you. It's bizarre, but it's cool stuff.
It's amazing that you can just see that from the refrigerator, or if the cabinets are completely messy, or there's like, or
Or the bedroom or the bathroom and the drawers and what's your routine in the morning in the bathroom. So I'll look at different products and tell me about your products. And most people say, oh, I don't know. It's just soap. It's just shampoo. And honestly, I have to say the men and women that say, well, actually, and they get into their products and they get excited about the smell or the scents or the lotion, whatever it is, that's a good sign that they're at least finding a moment to just kind of really take care of themselves.
Lately, I've been doing that. I give myself massages at night. I put olive oil and coconut oil on my body. I take salt and oregano and lemon baths.
Ooh.
Because that is so good for you. It sucks out all the toxins. I burn sage. I've had a lot of you were asking me yesterday, like, why aren't you married, or what's going on with your relationships or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm having time by myself because I was in very unhealthy relationships, and I knew I was in unhealthy relationships. I knew when I was 3 years old what an unhealthy relationship was.
Ooh,
I knew when something was unhealthy and when something was good. And I was like, why did I allow myself? Because I like to, fix people and help them. And I realized, I'm a caretaker in a sense, but I have to take care of myself. And so I've blocked everyone out because I was getting lost in the relationships. And the only thing that grounded me was my career, was radio. Because I knew, and I knew also when I was 3 that I was supposed to be on the radio. So the only thing I remember saying, if you can't control the guy, your boyfriend, you can't make him respect you, or you can't make him be nice to you, and that's just basic. Like, you shouldn't even have to make somebody do that. That's basic common sense. You should know the difference between right and wrong, and if you feel like you want to treat someone bad, you need to be wise enough and get out of that relationship with that person, because that's not healthy for you, and that's karma coming back at you. So basically I was like, you know what, you need to back up, girl. After the whole fiance thing, you need to back up. And I ended up leaving XM after like 5 years. It was just, time for me to come back to LA and, do camera and stuff. So I basically was like, I need to center and take care of myself. Like, I need to just go, okay, when you see this, you need to make a rule. You don't go down this road, even if you see potential in that person. The deal breakers, like, Michelle on your team, who said she had 10 deal breakers that were so extreme that she didn't think she was going to find the right guy. But you've come out with a blueprint. So everyone can actually be as picky and specific as they want, which I love because I'm extremely picky, and get what they want.
As long as it's healthy and balanced and it doesn't keep you stuck.
Yeah, you can't say, I want somebody who's going to, be mean to me. Nobody would do that.
Well, right. Yeah. We need to get our values in check. And again, if everybody was doing what you're doing, right, if they were honoring themselves, loving themselves, spoiling on themselves, being real, listening to that inner voice, they're not going to attract anything but something that's good and loving for them. And or if they do, even for a brief moment, as you were saying, it will be spot on. They'll feel it and they'll go, you know what, hopefully respectfully, I'm not the one for you, you're not the one for me. And you'll just let it go. You don't hold on to it. Right.
You don't hold, and that's hard. So we're going to take a quick break for my sponsors, and we're going to come back and talk about how to let go and what we do, how can we get started with your book, Real Love, right now, and healthy real love. And we have your blueprint we're going to put on the screen, and we're going to show everyone your blueprint. Okay. And so we'll be right back, okay? So just hang on 2 seconds. You're listening and watching Out of the Friend Zone. I'm Heidi Selexa. Be right back.
5, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, there's 3 and 4. So much money. So many people to see. You know, it is hard enough to be the tooth fairy for little kids, let alone for big kids too. But I love it. It doesn't matter because I'm the tooth fairy. As a matter of fact, not only do I carry lots of money and quarters and things with me, I actually carry people's broken teeth. Like this one. Whoopsies, not very attractive. Split in half. This was an adult female who just bit into the wrong thing. Had a root canal, didn't cap it, you know. And so then they had to pull the tooth, and that's what I'm for. And that's what my boss is for. He's known as the tooth godfather. Shh, he's your own little secret, Doc in a Pock. You never have to worry about an assistant calling you the next day. Or maybe you just have a question and you make a phone call and nobody answers your question, but they just did the surgery. Hello, does anybody care about me? Don't worry about it. He calls you all the time. As a matter of fact, he doesn't want assistants calling you. He'll call you. He doesn't want, you to ask them what you need. He'll tell you what you need. And he's always there for you. It's like there's the perfect person in your pocket. Oops, I don't have a pocket, but I do have him. Hello, Dr. Craig Thede. I love him. He actually did my mouth too. Well, just a little bit of it. But either way, it wasn't painful, and I was very happy with the results, and I trusted him. And I just have to say, I am now the tooth fairy because I found the tooth godfather. He does every surgery from the neck up, including cleft surgeries. People fly from all over the world. He can do a tooth in an hour. He can do your entire mouth. He can do your wisdom teeth. He can do whatever issues you have, bone grafting. He's a maxillofacial oral surgeon, and he's the best. And you're just going to feel so great when you walk in. The offices are nice. The girls are nice. He's fantastic, and he calls you all the time. So you don't have to worry about a thing. And you can go around now smiling. And don't forget to smile, okay? Because after all, that's what gets you what you want. I'm Heidi Selexa, and I'm your tooth fairy. No candy for you. But you can have a little money. Or actually, how about a kumquat? It won't.
I forgot my kumquats today. But the show has also been brought to you by Age Interventionist with Renee Lynn. Now, she doesn't just do facials. She actually does 24 karat gold facials, fire and ice. I've actually given out free gift certificates. And it's natural tightening of your skin. Everything is natural. There's no surgery. There's no razors. There's no lasers. It's just all natural. She's fantastic. So go to ageinterventionist.com. You can also order products off that I use. See, my skin, I look like I'm 12 now. Okay, I over-exaggerated. But anyway, whatever she does, it just works, and I thank her so much for it. Also, Sex Butter with Bonnie. Bonnie invented this product, and, it's just to help people who maybe need a little help. And she's fantastic with her products. It's all organic and natural, and as a matter of fact, I put it when my muscles are sore on my legs from working out too much. I just use it there on my calves or my thighs. It's, it has multiple purposes, no matter what the name is. So go to sexbutter.com. And we are back. Kailen, are you laughing with my...
I'm loving those. That's awesome.
It's funny because Renee and Bonnie, they're also friends, but it's like you kind of circle with people who are into the same thing. It's homeopathic, it's natural, it's just to help you be happy. And then with you, it's not just about what's on the outside, it's really coming from the inside. So when your corners of your house are dirty or you shove things under the bed or in the closet, it's like, whoa, what's going on? Is he telling me the truth? Or is she telling me the truth? Isn't that true?
You got it down. So well said.
I'm still going to do your book, though. I'm going to do the blueprint.
Okay, perfect.
So letting go before we actually get to your book and the blueprint. Letting go. We are talking, by the way, if you're just tuning in, to Kailen Rosenberg, wrote the new book, Real Love Right Now, and she has a show on Oprah's own network, and she has a show coming out at the end of the month with Rod Stewart and George Hamilton called Stewart and Hamilton. Who's Tanner, by the way?
It was funny when you asked me that earlier. I have to say, and George would kill me for this, I think it's kind of a toss-up.
Ooh.
And George is still very proud of it, I have to say.
Really?
Okay, I'm going to be careful. I have to be careful.
Maybe they're tan in different. Oh, really? Maybe they're tan in different ways because George has brown hair and Rod is a blonde, and so maybe their skin melatonin's a little different, so they tan in different ways. And that's your way to say it. That's your way out. You're like, I didn't say anyone was tanner than anyone else, you guys. Can you imagine like two guys? I'm tanner than you. It's like two girls in like a tanning salon.
Right? No, yep, that ego, that darn ego.
I love Rod Stewart,
Every
though.
time.
I just
Yes.
love him. So, letting go. What is the easiest way to convince yourself when you're one of the people who hangs on not to be a hoarder with your personal life and your emotions and people? Why do you want to hoard someone? Why do you want to keep someone if the person doesn't want to keep you? And why do you want to keep someone who's not necessarily clean enough for you? And I'm clean enough, I mean the right match for you.
Because you don't believe in you really don't believe that you deserve anything better. You can get really angry and pissed off and say, darn it, I deserve to be treated better. I deserve this, I deserve that. But if you are allowing what is painful and crappy in your life, that's your true level of faith in yourself and what you can experience and receive. It's just, and
So
it's going
that's-
back to the old messages and really the lies that we've been told sometimes since we were little kids that we've just we're just continuing to hold on to.
They're
and so you can
lies.
tell the truth of where someone's at with themselves based on the person that they have in their life when it comes to love. It says a lot.
It says a lot who you have around you. When our parents said when we were younger, who you associate with actually says a lot about you. Birds of a feather flock together. And if you want to be better, then you start, like in 5 years, you need to start circling yourself with better people.
You do. And your life changes because of it as well on so many levels.
Yeah, and if people say, how do I get better people? Because, I don't even go to the right places. Well, you need to start and you need to block those people out and just be alone for a while. It's okay.
You do, yeah. You need to set that boundary. You need to. That's where you do need to create a wall of space to kind of protect yourself while you're healing, you're growing, you're nurturing. But at the same time, it's again, I tell people to stop being so self-critical, to get out of the shame bucket belief system of okay, great. So I was with somebody who was really nasty, poor to me. I allowed myself to be there. It's all good. Once again, a love teacher, even if it seems like it sucked.
Yeah,
it was a love teacher. It was somebody that just got you to a point of where you finally, hopefully, said enough. I don't deserve this anymore. Whatever I thought, wherever I was at, I'm no longer there, and I'm going to thank this person for the love I did feel at times, but now I'm going to love myself even more, and I'm going to love them by letting them go.
Okay.
And love myself by being open enough to let the right person finally have the space to come in.
Yeah.
So it's all good. There's no such thing as
a failed relationship. You said
No.
that.
There's not. There's really not. They're all
Explain
teachers.
that. Explain that. Why you said that our spirit is going to actually draw in the right love teachers. Explain that, because it's interesting, because you're always like, well, how does that person end up with somebody, or why does that person stay with them, or
for instance, again, and we hear this all the time. Well, if you came from an abusive childhood or background, you typically attract abusers. And yes, part of it is because you're broken and that's your belief system. But it is, I believe, your spirit and your soul on a higher level saying, okay, I'm going to bring this unfinished business in, this lie in. I'm going to bring it into my life and my emotional and spiritual and sensual space. And I'm going to be kind of in the ring with it until it hurts so much that you come to it again, like I said earlier, a self-truth where you now tell yourself the truth and you realize you don't need that anymore. You've now solved that riddle. You've found the truth and the real answer of your value and who you are and what you deserve, and then you can let it go. And that's what the spirit and the soul needs to keep growing.
Hallelujah. Letting it go is like a huge thing, and you bring in the right stuff finally just by getting rid. So like with somebody's house, is it, is it nice? Is it them? Is it balanced? Or is it to the extreme, too messy, too clean, or whatever? Because that's a hanging on thing, also.
Right.
So it's really about on the inside, which is where your book comes in. Real love now. Damn it. Okay, damn it's not actually in the title. Yeah, I'm like, damn it. Real love right now. So your blue go ahead. Your blueprint. How does the blueprint work? Can we pull up the blueprint? We have your blueprint here from the book. And, you can get as specific as you want. I've never heard that before, where I want somebody blonde with blue eyes. Can you actually get that specific?
Yeah, but I ask you not to.
Okay. Well, I haven't read your book yet because it's coming out. And so tell me about the blueprint and how does this work?
Well, first of all, so what people can do, because it's free and it's available. So you can go to my website at thelovearchitects.com and click on Blueprint and print it out for yourself. Print out 2 copies.
Okay. Why 2?
Okay. Because one is for you.
Okay.
It's a self-evaluation. It's your own blueprint of where you are truly at with each one. When I say each one, each description that's on the blueprint, from the external to the internal, from the hair to the soul to truth telling. Okay. So you're going to fill it out for yourself. You're going to get really raw and real. And then you're going to fill one out for the person you know, not desire ego-wise, that your heart, your soul, your being knows you want to and need to be with. It's pretty.
Go ahead.
Huh?
No, I was gonna say, how do you get there? What if you're lying to yourself? How do you just got to get super truthful?
You get super truthful, and you do. We always know when we're lying to ourselves, right? We totally know. And we know when we're brushing things under the rug, and we know when we're denying ourselves. So usually when people get to the point of filling this out, they're sick of what isn't working in their life, and they're ready to just be raw and go, screw it, what the heck? I'm just going to go with this, even if it doesn't feel right or make sense to me, sort of. It seems a little woo-woo-y. But you get real pretty fast when you're feeling something even this simple out. And so when you talk about the hair, whether it's about your soulmate or yourself, it sounds superficial, but again, we're dealing with all sorts of different people from all over the world. So your hair, do you like, on your own, is your hair healthy? Does the cut represent who you really are and your personality and how you feel? Are you nurturing it? Are you blah, blah, blah? It's one of the most superficial things I have, but yet hair is something people really pay attention to.
It's important.
Or no hair.
Right. Can you put on your blueprint, he can either have hair or no hair. You can. Okay. Yeah. Right.
But you can say, this is what I'm attracted to and this is what I desire.
Okay.
But I also ask on each one for a person to also put out there, whether they have a faith in God, but hopefully some higher power other than themselves, to say, but yet I leave it in hands higher than me. I leave it in at a higher energy to just come to me, because I know it's going to be amazing when it's right and when it does.
Right.
So so it's really from the spirit. And when we say spirit on there, I don't have it in front of me and I don't know it by heart, but the spirit, or there's truth on there. Truth is, how honest are you? It's not just, are you a truth teller mostly, but how honest are you really in life about who you are, about what you project or present? Are you a coddler? Are you codependent? Are you I won't swear, but are you a BSer?
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. We can always just beep it out. Go ahead.
No, but are you one that's really codependent and you're really afraid of ruffling someone's feathers? And are you the girlfriend who has the other friend who's fat and says, do I look good in these jeans? And she looks awful. And you're like, you look amazing, sweetheart. Don't be that person.
I know. Those ones, you can't trust them, because if you ask the question, there's a part of you that feels like it. So unless you can't see in the mirror right, you're asking the question because you're really knowing it. So somebody,
right.
Yeah, and if you know someone's lying to you, how can you honestly trust them?
Well, there you go. So how can you trust them? How can you trust yourself? I love what you are so deep insightful. I
meditate a lot. I love the Lord. I love God. I'm just like last night after I spoke with you on the phone, I wanted to tell you, I somehow ended up in my kitchen cupboards organizing. Okay.
Oh, did you?
I went outside and I found a file cabinet that I'd been looking for, and the neighbor had put it, and this was weird. I said, I couldn't find the right file cabinet for my stuff. And I said, I finally let go, and I said, it'll come to me. Yeah. It'll just show up and it'll be free. So I go out to my car and I put something in my trunk and I turn around and I'm like, oh my God, there it is. And it was so heavy. I finally kind of got it down. I put it on the rollers and stuff. And then the building manager heard me making noise in the neighborhood because I live by the studios in LA and making a lot of, it was echoing. He basically came out and helped me. And I was thinking, somebody will come out and help me. I didn't even worry about it. And now it's in my place. It looks perfect. Yeah. But I ended up putting the other thing in the kitchen, and I was like, it's going to fit right here. My towels go here. My trash bags go here. And then I thought, I finally let go. I'm like, I do trust God. But that wasn't until I spoke with you on the phone.
Oh, hon. Well, so everyone who's listening, what she said is so true. What we believe in, what we put our energy, our thoughts, which are so powerful. We hear that often, but it's so darn true. What you believe in, what you put out there, what you project out there, that is exactly what we get back. Yeah. So be really careful. So getting back to truth, how honest are you with yourself and with others? How honest? That. Yeah. There's not a lot of room for BS. Life is short and precious. Another one is the health of your soul or your spirit. To me, your soul is it's the depth, it's the teacher, it's where the wisdom comes in. It's the big powerful energy within this capsule of our body.
Right.
That's experiencing life, and it's learning, and it's growing, and it's healing, and it's healing
Yeah.
others, and it's sharing love and experiencing love. That's the soul. The spirit is the feisty, funky little thing.
Woo! Yes, it is.
Right, and it's connected to the ego though a bit as well. They're
Yeah.
kind of friends, and you have to be careful. You want your spirit and your soul more connected than your spirit and your ego.
Okay, how do you know the difference?
You feel it.
Okay.
Because once again, are you being kind of the naughty little one that's doing a lot to others and to yourself in life that you know intuitively isn't right,
You're
but
a
you do it
bad
anyway?
girl. Yes.
You know,
Right.
for a reason. And when you stop doing that, this is when we kind of grow up. And growing up doesn't mean life becomes boring and it's no longer fun, or that we lose the zest in us.
Yep.
It just means we're calling higher, better, more amazing things into our lives. So, I mean, again, beautiful analogy with that darn cabinet.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it was heck. Like, I mean, I went through crazy. It was taking a month, and I like went insane. And I was like, finally, I was like, just let it go. And then I heard this quiet voice that said, there is a solution.
Oh, yeah.
Because I almost started crying in my closet. I was like, oh, my God, this is ridiculous, Heidi. How can it take me 4 months to put my place back together? The guy completely tore it up and has paint everywhere, and he took things out of the closet. He dumped everything upside down. I'm like, what are you doing? He was drinking, and he was just, one of those party guys. And I didn't realize it when I asked him to help me. So my fault. I jump to things too quick. I don't research people. I understand that I make that decision. I used to get in a relationship, in a week after dating him, I'd be like, okay, we're serious. I mean, I don't even know the person. Are you saying, Heidi? Come on. You got to know the person. So I've changed with that. But I always thought as long as I have control of myself, I can control the other exterior situations. And that's not right.
Well, it's not that it's not right. It's just not true.
It's not true because they have their own vision.
Oh, yeah.
And they're thinking probably the same thing about me.
They could be. Yep, they could be.
So,
So once again, going back to the blueprint.
Yeah.
It's filling it out for yourself as authentically and honest and centered as you can. It's filling it out then about the person that you hope to be with someday. There are people that I even say, do this about your spouse and your partner. But again, come from the heart and come from the soul. And if you're really, really, kind of daring, you can actually find somebody, either call a friend that is totally straight up and real and doesn't, and you actually don't always love hearing what they have to say.
It's somebody from New York who says, sister, let me tell you something. The jeans make you look fat and the guy is cheating on you. You're too good for him, but you don't have any self-esteem. Get it together.
Right.
Right? Yeah, that's that girl.
So you want her or him to fill out the blueprint about you on your behalf.
Oh.
And then you put that one up.
So
on
you
your
do
bathroom
3
mirror.
copies, technically. Print out 3 then.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
are lucky enough to have a friend like that.
Okay.
Right? So you put that one up on the mirror next to the one that you created about yourself, next to the one about the man or the woman or whomever you want to fall in love with
Okay.
and have in your life. And it's mind-blowing how you will start to see the flow and the connection. And it brings a lot of people to tears. It just does. But it works.
But let me ask you a question. If you fill out the blueprint about yourself and you're being honest with yourself and it's not necessarily the place you want to be, should you fill out another blueprint of where you want to be when when you're quiet and you're meditating, your higher self says, this is where I'm bringing you? Should you fill out another one that has that one?
You totally could.
Okay.
Typically what I do is, it's old school, but I swear to God the thing works. It's kind of, again, sort of the energy and the trust that you put out in the faith into the universe. But the darn old vision board, I will have my clients get the big, huge honkin', tag board, the big 4x6.
Okay.
And go to a Barnes and Noble or go wherever it is and just gobble up it's a little bit of an investment. You gobble up a bunch of magazines that just call your attention. Ones that you typically would never have looked at or been interested in. All of a sudden, let your inner voice guide you and just grab every single magazine, even if it doesn't make sense. Buy it, go home, sit on the floor, relaxed with incense going, a candle, a glass of wine, wherever you feel most kind of home.
I've got my glass of wine here.
Awesome. I wish I was joining you.
Me too. You're going to come to my house. We'll have wine.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good. And you just go page by page without overthinking. Don't look for what you want. This is where a lot of people make mistakes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's where the law of attraction. The secret says, what do you want? I want to know what I want. It's not about that.
It's about what is your soul telling you
Okay.
you need? What is it gravitating toward? And it's crazy, not only what you'll tear out of, the magazine and cut out some people are super artistic and some people just slap it on there and there's no judgment at this point, right?
Right.
It is what it is. And you paste it all and you sit back and you look at it and you look at the story that it tells you. And it's going to absolutely either show you where you are right now, but in a beautiful light, or it's going to show you what's coming. And then I've had clients do this, and then I swear to God, 3 months later, they'll come to my office and they'll say, oh my Lord, Kailen, you wouldn't believe this. Look at this gift that was given to me, and it's one of the most beautiful things, never asked for it, didn't know this person, and it's on my darn vision board.
Oh my gosh.
Over and over and over. Or this house that I bought that, when I was looking for a new home, look at the house, Kailen, it's my house. So it's crazy. It's beautiful.
But is the vision board separate because you need to see the vision board? Is it separate from like a vision box? Because if you've ever listened to the law of attraction, they say get a box, a nice box, and put all the things you want in there. And then put it away somewhere.
Because you're looking at it.
But you need to look at, are you saying you need to look at what you want? You need to look at what is calling you.
Yeah. And you connect with it. So I have clients that have them up in their closet, if they have a walk-in closet.
Right.
Or it's in their bathroom, and it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but who cares?
I know. I was like, it doesn't match. It's not gonna. And I'll go crazy. I'm like, where do I put this word? And I'll go crazy. I'm like, where do I put this word? Like, where do I put this person in my life? And I think that's another thing. Is like, where do you put something? It's almost like, do you have friends in your life? You're like, where do I put them? What do I do with them? Because some people just know where to put stuff, and if they don't know, if it doesn't fit, if they don't need it, they throw it out or they give it away. They donate it. They sell it. Completely different mindsets. But it really just comes from like where they're at.
You're cleaning house.
Yeah.
You're cleaning house on many different levels. And again, back to love architecture, back to love design. We can all be that within ourselves. We can be that for each other. We need to be better at that in this world. Our society needs to be touched more by love and the energy of love and the healing love. I mean, just seriously.
I know you got on me yesterday when I was on the phone with you, and I said I started making fun of the guys I dated. I'm like, I don't even know what I was, and you're like, Heidi, you need to come from a place of love. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, love. I have to remember that. You were so funny.
Well, and compassion. It's so easy for us to judge each other, right? And it doesn't mean that we have to accept really crappy behavior, but at the same time,
don't judge where it came from.
You don't know what's going on. You don't know their story. You don't know where they came from. It's like if you can just separate with love, whoa, is that heavy, powerful stuff.
Wow. You are so powerful, and you are beautiful and talented. And Jarvis has a question for you.
Sure.
He wants to know, and this is another thing.
Okay.
We talked about somebody's house and whatever they live in, wherever they live, wherever they're residing in, how they feel about themselves. What about somebody's car? Is the car clean always on the outside and inside, or what if it's dirty? Or what if somebody just doesn't have time to go to the car wash? Do you judge him off having a dirty car? Then we talked about this, you're making the wrong decision. What if Mr. Right is he's just in a bad place, or Mrs. Right is just living in a bad place, she's depressed, whatever. But if you guys came together, it's not that you actually carry each other and complete each other, which is BS, but somehow the energy and the happiness helps you be at the higher power in the place you're supposed to be. Remember, we talked about that. What are you going to throw somebody away and he's the right person? You didn't even look at him. So Jarvis
was deep.
Yeah, I know. I'm so deep. I'm sorry. I totally confused you. But back to the car.
It's all good. It's all good.
I just do that. I just go off. I'm like, what about this?
Good.
Da, da, da. These are my thoughts. I mean, can you see God? He's all confused.
Yeah.
So Jarvis wants to know about the car.
Yeah. What does the car say about someone? Is that what he's wondering?
Yeah, clean or not clean, or the kind of car.
You want to be with that one. The car actually is a little bit different than the house, right?
Okay.
You want your car clean. I know it's going to sound really weird. Like, why? You want your car clean, more on the inside than the outside. It's this tiny space that surrounds you, right?
And you're
traveling. It's your little pod. It's your travel pod.
Right.
And so if you are okay with it filled with a bunch of crap and garbage and food wrappers and cans and cigarette butts.
And old hamburgers. Ugh.
Old hamburgers all dried up that is a literally a tried and true vision into the person's mind, and where they're at with regard to loving you, their ability to love you.
Oh boy, so the car is the ability to love you.
Major block. So if you see somebody that has just a trashed car, regardless of how expensive or nice, just trashed, it's somebody that needs some space and time to get centered with themselves. There's something that they're blocking. It doesn't mean that they're not a good person. It doesn't mean they're not capable of loving you. It just means that something's blocking it right now.
They need to read your book and do your blueprint and really get it together. That's what it means. It's called Real Love Right Now is the name of your book. We are so excited to have you on the show. We're not done with you. I mean, the show is about ending now, which is unfortunate because I could just keep talking to you forever.
Oh, you're fun.
And I mean, there's people in the chat room, and I haven't even read what they said because I'm having so much fun with you. Heidi, you're being selfish. No. But your book. So also, when is the show coming out with Stewart and Hamilton?
Yeah, it's based around the matriarch who is actually Alana Stewart. So she was married to both George and oh, good. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Rod. Sorry,
Wait,
Rod.
George. She was married to both of the band. Oh, that's right. I wonder if she likes tan men. I wonder what that says. Sorry.
She's a bigger friend, but she was married to George first, and then they ended, and then she met Rod. They fell madly in love, and they had their kids.
I would fall madly in love with Rod, too, and have his kids. Well, if he was the right one in my blueprint. See? Because we always think we want to marry a rock star, but if we don't, then you know what? We might get with them and hate them. So go on.
True, too.
Right.
That's true, too. So it's the family dynamics surrounding Alana as a woman and a matriarch with these really, really fascinating men that she was in love with that are on both ends of the spectrum of success and fame and Hollywood.
Right.
And kids and how they all so cool in such a cool but yet funky way and dysfunctional way, but also loving way. Keep it all together.
Oh boy! So when is it comes out on ETV, and what is the date?
At the end of this month. So it's the Stewarts and the Hamiltons.
Okay, we're going to be watching it.
I'll let you know. It's either the 27th or the 28th of July.
And she also has a show on OWN Network. And go ahead.
South Africa.
It's South Africa. Oh, that's right. It's really huge in South Africa.
It's a big deal over there.
Oh my gosh, you must be getting all kinds of fan mail. You have to bring them when you come to my house. When are you coming here to LA to come on my house, and we're going to tape at my house?
Okay, cool.
What is? Yeah, you're going to come in a couple weeks, so we're going to have her back on. How can people get a hold of you? Your website is Love Architects with a S, so it's plural. Architects.
Yes.
.com.
Love Architects.
Yes, and make sure you tweet and Facebook her. You can get all of that through lovearchitects.com. I love you, Kailen.
I love you too.
You are so fantastic. So we got to end the show now, but I'm going to call you in an hour. But I promise I won't harass you.
I love it. Good. Do.
Love you. Thank you so much. So we'll see you in a few weeks.
Okay, bye, you guys.
You are listening to Heidi Selexa and Out of the Friend Zone. See you next week.
Hey, you're listening to Out of the Friend Zone with Heidi Selexa. Yeah.